everybody, in this video you will be learning about lists in C#. The agenda of my video will be what is a list, the difference between arrays and lists, and methods that we can use with lists. So first I'm going to create a console application in Visual Studio. Okay, so here I've created a console application in Visual Studio and I've called it lists in C# demo. So first let me explain about what is a list. Basically, a list is a generic collection of objects that can be accessed by the index position. And lists come from this namespace that is using system.collections.generic. Now let me talk about what is the difference between arrays and lists. So basically, arrays store a fixed size of elements and they should be of the same type. Whereas a list is a generic collection. So over here, let me show you how you can declare a list. So you have to say list, angle brackets, and then inside of here specify the type. So let's say something like an integer, and let's go ahead and call this numbers, and initialize this to new list, square bracket, not square bracket, angle bracket, and the type, and close that angle bracket off. And then after that, two brackets, an opening and a closing one, and then a semicolon. So now let us take a look at how we can insert or add in a value inside of this list. So you have to say numbers, that is our list name, dot add. And then inside of here, you have to pass in an integer value. What do you want to add? So, like 42. And then a semicolon. So now we have successfully inserted this value into our list. And I just want to tell you one more thing. That this list can only hold type of integer. The type of integer because we have specified integer over here. We try to insert like some string value, like obnoxious. Then we're gonna get an error. But over here, I'm gonna declare another list. Wait, I'll change this back to 43 of string. Okay, list of string, and let's call this like friends. And initialize this to new list of string bracket. Okay. Now, let's say friends dot add, and here we have to pass in a string value. Okay, let's say like Azvik, and then semicolon. So this add method can be used to add one particular item into a list. Now let me show you another way of how we can add items into a list. So I don't need this string list anymore. Check it out here. And I don't even need this. So over here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the end and put in two square brackets. Okay. Inside of here, we can put in the values of our list. So I'll say the first value is like 10, and then 25, 34, 54, or 55, and so on. So this is another way to insert a value into a list or add a value into a list. Now I'll be explaining about some important properties and methods of lists. So over here, I'm going to explain about a property that is called dot count. Over here, I'll say console.writeLine numbers dot count. Okay, and now let's run the program by clicking Ctrl plus F5. Okay, over here the output on the console is 4. And that is because how many elements we have in this list is 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now let's close this. Now, before going into talking about about methods that we can use with lists, I'm going to show you how we can print all of the elements inside of this list by using a for each loop. So over here, I'm going to go here, I'll say for each, hit tab, I'm going to say for each int number in not collection numbers, that is the list name. And inside of here, we're going to have a console.writeLine method, and we want to write onto the console number. Okay, so over here, I'm just going to run the program by clicking Control+F, and as you can see, it prints out the elements that are inside of the list that are 10, 25, 34, and 54. 55. I'm sorry. Now let's move on to talking about some methods that we can use with lists. So the first method that we can use with lists, I've already showed you, that is add. So that is used to add an element into a list. So I'll just show you that again. Over here, I'm just gonna say numbers.add. Let's say this time like 67, semicolon. Now let's run the program, and right now when we print it out, the last value was 55 and now the last value should be 67. As you can see, the last value was 67. So that's all for this add method. Now let's move on to talking about other methods. Now over here on top, I'm going to use another I'm going to declare another list. So for you to understand, list of, again, integers, and let's call this numbers 2 or something like that, and then initialize this to new list of integers, with brackets inside of which we put the values, and let's say our values are 26, 85, 90, 101. Okay, these are just some random numbers. Now over here, instead of numbers.add, using this add method over here, we're going to say numbers.addRange. So that's the method we're going to be discussing about now. So just say add range. And inside of here, you have to specify the list. Okay, the list name, say numbers 2. So let me explain what this add range method does. This add range method is used to add a list or append a list onto the end of another list. Okay, so we're saying numbers.addRange, so we'll add this list. Okay, and add range, we're saying numbers too, so we'll add this list over here. It'll add these values onto the end of this numbers list. And now when we run our program, as you can see that inside of this list there are only values till 55, and other values that are 76, 85, 90, and 101 are in this list. So we have appended this numbers 2 list into this numbers list. That's what we did over here. Okay, now let's go talk about the next method that we can use with lists. So the next method we're going to be talking about is insert. Over here, instead of saying numbers.addRange, I'm going to say numbers.insert. Okay, and then inside of this, what we have to pass in, I'm just going to show you by removing the bracket, is first the index position of where we want to insert the value. Okay, so let's say that we want to insert it into the first index position after this 10. And list, just like arrays, always start indexing from 0. So let's say 1. And then second, we have to specify what we want to add there. So let's say something like 20 this time. Simple. And now let's run the program. It was printing out 25 after 10, and now it should print out 20 after 10. So we have inserted a value into our list, into a particular index position. Now, let's talk about the insert range method. So instead of saying insert over here, I'm going to say insert range. So what this will do is that um, you remember about the add range method, right? It'll always add a list onto the end of another list, right? So what this insert range method does is that it will insert a list into this list, numbers that we have specified over here. Over here, I'll just remove these brackets to show you what you have to pass in. Okay, first you have to pass in the index position of where you want to insert this list. I'll say this time something like 0. And over here you have to pass in the list. Okay, let's say numbers 2. Okay, I'll just close off that bracket and actually run the program. Just bring this down a little bit. And as you can see right now, at the zeros index position 76 is, this numbers 2 list has been inserted. So the first value is 76 and second value 85 and so on. And then as you can see 101 is the last value of the numbers 2 list and 10 is the first value of this numbers list. So what we have done is we have inserted this list over here onto the top of this list. Now let's talk about the remove method. So over here I'll say numbers dot remove. So here we have to pass in the value that we want to remove. So let's say we want to remove this 55 from this list. So here we have to specify the value 55. Okay, run the program, and 55 will no longer be inside of this list. It will only be till 34. As you can see, so I'm just going to go ahead and close this. So what this remove method does is that it removes element from a list by value. So what if you don't know the value that you want to remove? You just know that, the index position of the value that you want to remove. So that's when this remove at method comes into play. Over here, I'll just remove that bracket and put it in again. We have to pass in the index position of what we want to remove. So again, assume that we want to remove this 55, so we have to pass in 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, pass in 3, and no, this time we'll do something different. 2. So it should remove 34. It could be 10. Wait, it should be 10, 25, and 55. Why doesn't it print it? Wait, just a second, I'll run the program again. Yeah. It prints out 10, 25, and 55. It removed 34 out of the list, right? Now, let's go ahead and talk about the next method that we can use with lists. That is remove range. So, as the name specifies, it is used to remove a particular range from a list. Over here, instead of remove add, we're going to say remove range. And just put out the bracket. First, you have to specify the index position. So, let's say we want to only want 10 inside of this list. So, over here, I'll just say 1. And then it takes one more argument, that is how much we want to take out of the list. I'll say we want to take out 3. That means I will take out 25, 34, and 55 from the list, and we will remain with only 10. Okay, I'll run the program over there, and as you can see, only 10 is left out inside of the list. Now let's talk about another method, that is clear. So right here, I'll take clear, and this takes no argument. So what this will do is that it'll take out all of the values from the list. Okay, so let's run the program, and it should not print out anything. We'll just click Control plus F5. Actually, drag this down a little bit. Yeah, there. So it doesn't print out anything and it asks us press any key to continue. So let's just press it. Okay. So next we have another method that is called index of. Say index of, and why this is used is to find out the index position of a particular element inside of this list. Let's say we want to find out the index position of this 25. It is at 1, and we will actually write this onto the console. Okay, out and remove semicolon. Now when we run our program, it prints -1. That is because this value 1 does not exist. I did a mistake over here. This value 1 does not exist inside of this list. Okay, so over here we have -1 because it does not exist. Now I'm going to close this, and over here instead of 1 we have to pass in 25 because that's the element's index position we want to find. So I'll pass in 25 and run the program, and it should print 1. So that's where its 25's index position is. Now I'm going to close this, and let's go ahead and talk about the next method. That is sort. Over here, first I'm going to talk about why do we use it. So basically the sort method is used when we want to sort this list is of string type, then we will sort it in alphabetical order, or else if it's of type any number type, then we will sort it in ascending order. So over here I'm just going to remove this console.writeLine method. I'm going to say numbers.sort. And now, as you may have noticed, that already these values are in ascending order. So to make that like not true, I'll just add in a 101 over here. Now there's no more in order. Now let's run the program by F5. And over here it returns a sorted list. So we have 101 on the top, but then that is not in order, right? It's not in ascending order. So what this sort method does is that it sorts the elements inside of this list in ascending order because this is an integer or else any other number type. And if it's strings, then we'll sort it in alphabetical order. Now let's talk about the next method that we can use with lists. That is that contains, and that's a method. Okay, so over here I'm just gonna comment these lines because or else you'll be confused. Control K C, and over here I'll put in a console.writeLine method. I'll say console.writeLine numbers dot contains, and then there's a method. You have to pass in what you want to check. So we'll say 101. So this returns a true or false value, and it'll check if this value that's specified over here is present inside of this list, and if it is, it'll return true, or else it'll return false. Now I'm going to run the program by clicking Control F5 there. Drag this down. It says true. That's because 101 is inside of this list. Now let's say something that does not exist. Let's say like 15. So it should return false. Let's run the program again. As you can see, it returns false. That's because this value does not exist. 15 does not exist. Okay? Now let's talk about another method that we can use with lists. Over here, I'm just going to comment this line of code, console.writeLine method. And in here, I'm going to say numbers dot for each. Over here, I'm going to say x and then say equals greater than some operator there. I'm going to explain this to you, don't worry. I'll say console.writeLine x. Okay, we don't need the semicolon here. We need that over here. Now, when we run our program, as you can see, it prints out the values that are inside of this list. So basically, this is a shortcut way of saying these lines of code. Okay, saying for each int number or something. Over here, we can even make this as number. So this is just a variable that is used inside of the for each loop. I'm going to comment this back. Okay, on the program again, and we should get the same output. So I've just clicked Control plus F5 and the same output. So this is just the variable that is used inside of this for each loop, like here, for int number in number. So we don't do this in over here. We just specify the body of this for each loop, console.writeLine number. So that's how we do it. So this number is one item inside of this numbers list. So it'll automatically iterate through each element of this numbers array. And then we are writing onto the console the value of number. Just like the normal for each loop. Right now, I just want to prove that we can even create a list of a class. So let me show you how we can do that. Over here, I'm going to open the Solution Explorer, and I'm going to right click on my project. This list in CS Demo, click on Add, and then instead of clicking New Item and selecting Class, I'm going to just click on Class. Okay, so it's just loading right now. Yeah, it has finished loading, and this kind of pop-up menu will appear. I'll call it. And over here, you have to give your class a name. Let's call this student. Click enter, or just you can click on that add button over there. Over here, inside of this class, I'm going to create two auto properties. And how I can do that is by just saying prop and tab. Okay, we're not going to create a field and then do a property for that. This is just an auto property, and we use it when we have no code inside of the get and set accessors. So public int student ID. Okay, and then another property, public string name. Enter. Now I'm gonna go ahead to this file over here, and I'm gonna delete all of this. Okay, and for here I'm just gonna type in, instead of a list of integers, I'm gonna type in a list of students. List of students and not numbers. Let's call this students. Okay, and equals new list of students. Okay, and now I'm going to remove these values over here. And we are doing an object initializer over here. I'll say new student, and inside of here I'll say student ID and its value. So let's say something like 1, and then not a semicolon, a comma. Okay, and let's say name set to like Akshay, and then no semicolon still. Just keep it like that. Now we have created one student. If we want, we can even create like 2 or 3 students. For sure, I'll just put a comma after the new student thing. I'll say again new student, and then we will say student ID equals 2 and name is Advik. Okay, we can even do the same by using the add method, but I'm not going to show you that right now. You can try that out by yourself. Now I hope you have understood about lists in C#. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to like and share this video. Please subscribe to my channel for more. Goodbye till the next video.